let's imagine a day in your life. It's a work day. You wake up, have breakfast, and check the news. But wait, you find articles that misrepresent you again, that give people the wrong perception of you. Articles that leave you feeling guilty for something you didn't do. Like this one, ban all men from Christmas, the rise of security threats from mistaken identity. But that's not fair, it's one of your favourite holidays, your children's too. You're a male, but the rise of security threats has got nothing to do with you. You then get ready and leave, arriving at the train station. Now I know travel is something we all wish we could do right now, so we'll really have to imagine this part. You arrive at the train station and automatically make your way to the wall, standing the furthest you can from the platform edge. You don't feel comfortable standing just anywhere like everyone else. You feel scared, only to be met by more awkward stares during the train ride itself. Do I have something on my face? Maybe some breakfast stuck in my teeth? You think to yourself. And that same travel anxiety on trains, you get around airports too, where despite being innocent, you feel nervous standing in security queue. You know for a fact they're going to stop you as you walk through, even though everyone else's belongings aren't any different to you. And anyways, after the train journey, you then finally arrive into the office. And notice you're the only person dressed the way you are. You're not sure if people are staring, and yes, your suit might be a little extra jazzy today, but surely it's not that bizarre. Then there's introducing yourself, your name. That's already put you at a disadvantage because people struggle to pronounce it. Stefan Smith? Stephen Smith. Your name is Stephen Smith. It's then lunchtime, and as you decide to give a homeless man some food, he just throws it back in your face, refusing to accept it. What's up with him, you think? Why does he look so offended? When he's been offered by others and is gladly accepted, what's so different about you that he feels the need to reject it? And after a long day at work, you finally arrive home to watch a children's movie with your family. Except as you're watching, you begin to realize it's not as innocent as you thought initially. And that was an imagine a day in your life. It probably didn't go exactly how you'd like. The misleading news articles, the train station, airport, the way you're dressed, your name, lunchtime, movie time. It's fair to say you didn't have a very good day if you had to define. But what if I told you that imagine a day in your life is equivalent to a welcome to a day in mine? Because that's the reality for some people like me. And it's not because I had something on my face or breakfast stuck in my teeth. It's because of who I am, my religion, my identity. And the hardest part is I have it very easy compared to others who suffer much greater extremity. Islamophobia. Society's fear of Muslims. But tell me, why is it the Muslims who are fearful of society? Because when I wake up, have breakfast and check the news, I find articles like these that leave me feeling guilty for something I didn't do. Schoolgirl wearing a hijab is a path to extremism, or hijab wearing is passive terrorism. And these are just two examples of hundreds. The industry average of negative coverage about Muslims is 59%, where Muslims are either perceived as oppressed or as terrorists. And it's fueled by people like Boris Johnson calling Muslim women letterboxes. Do you know that after that statement, there was a 375% rise in Islamophobia? It's quite ironic now, actually, how this one should be banned, yet this one should be mandatory. How they're so worried when a tiny percentage of our population cover like this, yet have absolutely no problem when almost the whole population cover like this. What happened to all the panic, the so-called security threats? We need to use technology to fight this problem. Let's use all these tools that check for fake news and clickbait in headlines. There are so many that exist. Let's rank reliability of media outlets. Or how about we use explainable AI? It's a method that removes bias from our online algorithms. It makes sure that humans are involved in developing inclusive and interpretable machine learning models. With this type of technology, we'll make a much better informed decision on where we go for news. instead of just picking up the first newspaper or reading the first article we see. And how about the fear of being pushed onto the track? Because that is a genuine fear of mine and others like me. Or the fact that I have to get stopped numerous times at the airport, guaranteed. We need to use technology to fight this problem. This has happened to over 400,000 Muslims, yet of those, only 0.0007% were ever guilty of anything. The stats really don't add up, that's clear to see. So let's use technology to fight these problems. Let's create body scanners that no longer give them an excuse to harass us, ones that can detect what they're looking for. Oh wait, they already exist. In fact, they've been around since 1992, so what, we just choose to ignore them? Because I've walked under those backscatter X-ray scanner machines before, when they haven't beeped. Yet a second later, I'm still having to stand there with my arms stretched out to 180 degrees. And how about me walking to the office? Already standing out because the only dress code pictures we see look the same. Or the fact that I have to send 90% more job applications to be successful just because of my name. We need to use technology to fight these problems. Let's digitally advertise more inclusive dress codes, or even remove names from job applications, which Atos does sometimes propose. Imagine all the missed business opportunities from potentially highly skilled workers that may not be here at Atos just because of their name. The Middle East is the perfect example. Their IT industry is booming. They could be very useful allies for us to gain. It's just a shame that part of the reason they may not be here could be because of their name. Then there's the children's movie. It was Disney's Aladdin we were watching. From the first few minutes, barbaric, poor street rats is what we learn about the Muslim, Arab, South Asian, Middle East. Sorry, I'm not sure which one it is because they didn't care to distinguish between the clearly different cultures. Or the color of Aladdin's skin when poor versus rich, or the American accents given to the good characters, and this weird Arab accents for the evil ones. And I could honestly keep going with these types of examples shown throughout this film and many others. If this is the type of content that children grow up to see, then no wonder it's a never-ending cycle of incorrect stereotypes. I mean, children are innocent. They will literally believe anything you tell them. Just like Jane Elliott's blue-eye, brown-eye experiment, where children were treated differently based on the hierarchy of their eye color. So maybe we should be more mindful of that with our own family. But then I remember all films are the same. Muslims are either oppressed women who need a non-Muslim man to save them from their strict family, like we see on this Netflix show, where this is the girl at the beginning of the series and this is her at the end, once she'd allegedly been saved, or they're terrorists, like we see on this BBC show, where this woman is about to blow the train up because her husband convinced her to do so. There's no in between. Is this what society really thinks of me, or is it just what they want everyone else to think of me? Because this sort of representation could not be further from the truth. We need to use technology to fight these problems. Let's create CGI animated films where a Muslim plays a hero, or even just a normal character. So instead of films like Aladdin, our children grow up to see a better representation of diversity. It will thrive financially. Look at Black Panther as the perfect example of the potential success we can achieve. We have so much exposure to the technology we need. We're just not using it correctly. Because I'm looking forward to the day that I get to wake up, have breakfast and check the news, to find articles like this one on BBC News. Weaam takes on the stage, the first Muslim woman to win Atos X. Wouldn't that be great? Or, on my family and I's movie night, we get to watch the latest Marvel movie, a top 10 taking over all screens, starring the latest superhero, Wild Weaam, with the hijab as her armor. Or, to save us all from the horror of seeing a Wild Weaam, why don't we just see more of Kamala Khan, Marvel's already existing Muslim superhero? And it's great that she already exists. There's just no point if she's hiding in this crowd where none of us can actually find her. We ask, are we living in a post-digital world? But
How can we be when these problems are thriving? Discrimination, racism, Islamophobia, issues we must keep fighting. And we do have the technology to do something about them, as I hope I've shown today with the explainable AI, fact-checking tools, CGI animated films, and a few other examples. Maybe if we just utilize this tech that we already have, there wouldn't be a need for all these crazy advances in order for us to live in a world where digital might mean enhancing. So how do we utilize this tech then? Well, aside from the obvious, like acknowledging its existence, we need to be able to trust the technology to work, unlike those airport machines inconsistent. We need to reevaluate what the problem is that needs fixing, because upon reflection, how many things take place in our day in the life that we keep missing? Things we think don't affect us, so we don't acknowledge them, we keep dismissing. When in reality, these issues actually do affect every member of society. And we all have to play our part in order to realize the benefits of having diversity. So let's challenge ourselves to be a little bit more self-aware in everything we do, to pick up on things a little bit, be understanding, put ourselves in other people's shoes. Because we can never really be living in a post-digital world until the time that all our days in the life are never left unheard. Thank you for listening.